In this video, I'll give you 13 Tailwind tips and tricks you must know as a front-end developer. And I guarantee you there are some in there that you didn't know yet. For this video, I assume that you already know the basics of Tailwind. If not, I have a full React beginner tutorial together with Tailwind. You can find the link in the top right corner. Okay, tip number 1, dark-modifying your website logo. And by the way, you can find all code examples of this video in the GitHub repository in the video description. Most websites these days have a dark mode. There are different libraries available to implement this. For Next.js, for example, this one is really good, Next Themes, which makes this very easy. But you might have noticed that when I toggled to dark mode, the color of our logo of course didn't switch because this is an image. Now one solution is to add a separate image for dark mode to our project and then switch between them depending on the theme. But there's actually an easier way. We can add these two classes to our image. The first one sets the brightness of our image to 0 in dark mode. In other words, it makes it black so that it looks like this. And then with dark invert, we invert the colors and voila, it's white. And in most cases, this is enough. So now when we toggle the theme, our logo automatically changes colors. Isn't this cool? When I hover over these Tailwind classes, I can see the corresponding CSS code. If you want to learn how to implement this and also get autocomplete for Tailwind classes, watch this video all the way to the end, because there I will show you. Tip number 2, use the Typography plugin. Sometimes you load the contents of your page from an external resource. For example, we could have a blog and load blog posts from our database. Here we fake this by importing a string that contains markdown formatting. And then on this page I render this markdown. So now this actually renders the real HTML elements like an H1 headline, different paragraphs, italic and bold text and so on. But everything is unstyled by default because this is how Tailwind works. To give you full control over the styling, all the elements are unstyled, even including headlines. We only have very basic styling like italic and bold, but that's pretty much it. We don't even have spacing between the paragraphs. Usually when you build a web page, you style everything from scratch. But you don't always have full control over the HTML, like when we render this blog post, because we load it from a database and we can't go in here and decide how each of these elements is styled. Now with React Markdown we can actually go in here and we can decide how each component is styled one by one. We can take the H1 for example and return a styled component, but this is also very tedious because we have to do this for every possible HTML element and we have to be good at design, so this actually looks good in the end. An easier solution is to use the Pros class, which will apply default styling to all the HTML elements, and with this one class our blog post looks like this. If you want to support dark mode, also add dark prose and word, which changes the colors. And you can even make the text size responsive with these different size classes. So now when I change the size of the window, the text size adapts as well. To activate this, install the Typography plugin and then simply import it in your global style sheet like this. You can find more configuration options in the documentation. Tip number 3, using the container class. So Tailwind has this container class, which sets the max width of an element to the min width of the breakpoint, and it looks like this. This is useful if you want to design your website for different breakpoints, but not make the width completely fluid, like this element below. This often looks better and it's easier to design for. All you need to do is add this container class and this works right away. But the annoying part is that we also have to center this element with MX Auto, because if we remove this, the container is aligned on the left side. But instead of repeating this in every layout, we can also set this once in the global style sheet like this, and now all container elements are centered on the screen. This only works in Tailwind 4. If you use Tailwind 3, you have to configure this in the Tailwind config file. Tip number 4, use the text balance class. This one is useful for headlines. So here I have this H1, but the alignment doesn't look great because this one word is in the next line. We can fix this with one simple class called text balance. Now, no matter the size of the headline, it will always look good, with even text splitting, and the corresponding CSS class looks like this, text wrap balance. By the way, when I press the formatting shortcut, it automatically puts these classes into the correct order. If you want to know how to activate this, watch this video all the way to the end. Tip 5, use size instead of width and height. So here I render this image and I set the width and the height both to 64. Did you know that there is now one unified class we can use to set the width and height at the same time if they have the same value? We can use the size class instead, which has the same effect. By the way, if you feel stuck as a React developer, I have the perfect resource for you. It's called certificates.dev and they are also sponsoring this video. Here you can get a certificate that proves to employers that you actually have the skills that you claim. They have exams for different skill levels, junior, mid-level and senior, and this is instructed by Aurora Scharf. And as you can see from my Twitter DMs, I ask her questions all the time because she's one of the most knowledgeable experts right now when it comes to modern React. She really knows her stuff, so you are in good hands with her. Now before you take an exam, you have preparation guides for each skill level that show you exactly what you need to know, and also a training, which is basically a self-paced tutorial. And this is a great way to refresh your knowledge. You don't have to do this training, but it will prepare you for the exam. And you will also get access to a Discord server and online bootcamps. So again, check this out at certificates.dev, and I thank them for sponsoring this video. Tip number 6, groups and nested groups. Here we have this card, and let's say when I hover anywhere over this card, I want to show this more button in the top right corner, not just when I hover directly over it. We can achieve this by adding the group class to the parent element and then the group hover modifier on the element that we want to show. So now when I hover anywhere over this card, we show this button in the top right corner. Of course, there are also other group modifiers available besides just hover for different states. But problems arise when we have nested groups. Let's say when I hover over this inner element, I want to color it like this. So we use the group modifier on this inner element as well. But since the big card and the small card in the middle both have the group modifier, the inner element lights up when I hover anywhere over this outer card. But this is not what I want. I only want colors in here when I hover directly over this element. In other words, we have nested groups and we need a way to distinguish between them. You can do this by adding a slash after the group modifier, and then you can give this any name you want. Here we call it download. Use the same name on all the group modifier classes. So now these two groups are separated from each other. When I hover over the outer card, only this button shows up, and only when I hover over the inner card, the button and the text light up. The opposite of group is the has class. With this one you can style an element based on the state of the child element. Number 7, peer. With the peer class you can style an element based on the style of its sibling. For example, we can make the label of each of these radio buttons bold when the radio button is checked by adding the peer class to the radio button and the peer modifiers to the label. You can also combine these different modifiers. For example, we can use dark and peer checked to change the color of the label only in dark mode. This enables some cool use cases like real-time password validation. Again, the full code is in the video description. Tip number 8, scroll snap. This is a really cool one. With this class we can easily create these image carousels where the image always snaps to the center of the screen or the element where you use it. So when I, for example, release the mouse button at this position, it automatically snaps to the middle. For this, simply add the snapX class to the container and snap center to the image elements. You can also snap to the beginning or the end of an element. There are different modifiers available. Tip number 9, line clamp. Line clamp is useful when you have a long text, but you want to cut it off after a certain number of lines, for example in this blog post preview card. For this, simply add line clamp and the number of lines you want to show, and it cuts it off and automatically adds these ellipses at the end. Number 10, odd and even. When you have a list of elements like a table, it often looks good when you color them in this alternating pattern, where one element is white, the next one is light gray, then white again, gray, and so on indefinitely. Then you can use the odd and even classes to set the background colors like this. And this will work no matter how many items you have. And again, you can combine these classes with the dark modifier to change the colors in dark mode as well. Similarly, you can use the first, last, and nth modifiers. Tip number 11, divide X and divide Y. Let's say we have a list of elements and we want to put a divider line between all of them. Now we could add a border bottom to all of these elements, but then we have this additional border at the bottom. And border top has the same problem. Now we have one more border before the first element. Now we could fix this with the first modifier by removing the border top from the first element specifically. But there is an easier solution. We can use the divide Y class on the list element itself. We can also change the style, color and thickness of these divider lines with these additional classes. And of course there's also divide X for horizontal elements. Tip number 12, install the Tailwind IntelliSense extension. So as promised, I'll show you how you get these hover previews for Tailwind classes and also autocomplete in class name strings. For this you have to install this official Tailwind CSS IntelliSense extension, but this needs a little bit of configuration. So we open the preferences. First we search for file associations. Then you click on add item and you enter these values that you can see here. *.css and Tailwind CSS for the value. This enables Tailwind language support in CSS files like your global CSS so that you don't get error messages in here, for example for Tailwind imports. But more importantly, we also search for quick suggestions and you want to turn this on for strings, because only this way you get these quick suggestions as soon as you start typing. And tip number 13, install the Prettier Tailwind plugin. If you use Prettier as the code formatter in your project and Tailwind CSS, you want to install this plugin. For this, npm install these two packages, Prettier and the Prettier Tailwind plugin. Then you enable this in your Tailwind config file. And now pay attention to this class name string, because when I press the formatting shortcut, all the classes get put into the recommended order. And this makes keeping an overview of your classes and code reviews easier. What's your favorite Tailwind trick or class? Leave a comment below. And if you want to see another Tailwind tips video like this one, like the video and leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, you will also love my React Best Practices course, which is free for subscribers of my email list. You can go to codingandflow.com/reactbestpractices to get this free course, which also puts you into my really cool email newsletter where I send web development tips around once every 1 or 2 weeks. Again, that's codingandflow.com/reactbestpractices. And then I wish you a nice rest of the day. Happy coding. Take care.